Hi everybody, welcome for the battle report of the second game from Bellum Lacombe number 5. We were playing TSC after a solid round 1 performance. Obviously we were more or less top of the league, so we were facing a strong opponent for the second round, which was something we really wanted for this tournament. It was, I think, a common goal for most of us in the team, willing to face the best player that were at this tournament. So it was already achieved to face them. Second round was going to be very interesting for us, also to see if we are able to compete with them and to compete also for the top spot of the tournament. So the pairing matrix went quite good for us. So we escaped a couple of bad matchups. We had several good matchups according to us against the ID. We were able to get one with Shizu with his demon, and the rest was more or less open matchups, rated as yellows basically for the 3 other games. So myself, I was facing a Vermin Swarm list. So as you know, I don't have a lot of experience against Vermin Swarm. I only play one game before the tournament to get a little bit more familiar with what they do, but I'm still not fully aware of the potential and all the tricks within the book. Fortunately for me, it was a Renew's Dictator list, so I had some knowledge about that thanks to this training game. So he was playing Favana, sorry, it's the one with multiple wound attack, which is nice. Then he had Priest on a Bell, Apprentice Witchcraft, the compulsory Thaumaturgy Adept with Book of Arcane Mastery, which is very, very strong because you can cast Wrath of God with +2. An Apprentice Witchcraft with a Crystal Ball, Rod of Battle. So yeah, a lot of spell in his list, basically two Apprentice, Rod of Battle, an Adept Thaumaturgy, an Adept Occultist that can access to all the spell. So very strong magical setup. Then he fielded the Doomblade, which is also a good tool against Ogre Khan because I have multiple wounds everywhere with Potion of Swiftness. 50 Black Fluff Veteran with a Rending Banner, 45 Legendaries with Stalker for the Bell, 15 Velites, 12 Mirror Brutes, 5 Mirror Brutes and 12 Fetish Brutes, sorry. With the Murmulo have the Catapult, Toxic Catapult shooting weapon, which is not so good against me, and 2 Arena Beast to protect the flank. So basically he has 3 single model that can move freely around his line, a very solid block of Brute that is going to be unstable within the Inspiring Presence, 2 big blocks and a small scoring unit where you can also back up character if needed. So yeah, quite a good list. As I knew, he tested it a lot. He was really convinced of the power level of this list, so I was really eager to try that game. We played on diagonal and capture the flag, and my spell selection was the following. I thought with Starface I have a good tool to do some damage against Arena Beast and also Dictator. Might be nice. Wrath of God obviously always good. Smite useful also to reduce and the resilience in combat, but also for my shots, and the rest are combat buff basically. And on the right we have his spell selection. So yeah, Gravecall, always scary, Wrath of God, fly move, and then some combat buff debuff and also damage from Hereditary. So not so easy for me to push the VS. I haven't played a lot against it, but I've been discussing with other Ogre player about the matchup. And it's not always easy. You need stuff to break the standoff basically. He has some good combat threat, and the main problem for me, I have only one chaff, the dog. I cannot use my small darts as flag as chaff because it's flag, meaning it's hard for me also to break the standoff and engage and chaff other stuff with only one piece of chaff basically. On his side he has no chaff at all, so I think it's very hard for him to push me and get points. So I was feeling pretty secure about the matchup, rated it as a yellow draw-ish, but still with positive. I think it's going towards a small win for me. It's very hard for him to win some points against my list if I don't decide to give him any opening to do so. So it was really depending on me and the risk that I'm willing to take, whether or not he can claim some points, get some points and claim a win, and whether or not I can get a bigger win or just a small win, basically. Dictator, I know that he needs to be careful of my poison shots. That's something I figured out during the training game, also my magic. And Refuse Flank, yeah, I think both of us, we know where we're going to be, because it's quite, yeah, it's with Refuse Flank, I think I can guess, thanks to the map, also where he could go, and also with his large footprint, it's very hard for him to avoid me, so I would be really happy to drop, but I think he would do the same, basically, to delay my aggression. So deployment, I want the roll for sides, a lot of option on diagonal. Either I cut it like that, but I thought he might use an impassable to his advantage and make hard for me to come at him, make that even harder. I decided to cut it that way. Downside is it gives him some place where he can hide against my shooting, but the good part for me was it's cut his deployment zone. His big triangle is basically separated from the rest, which was nice, so I knew exactly where he was going to be, and then for me it was kind of easier to deploy. That was at least my thought process. Deployment went the following: so he put Arena Beast, and Dictator, then he has the main block with the Doomblade, the block with the Bell, Fetis, Velite, Mumilo Brute, and I guess that was it. So basically what you can see from his deployment is you don't need to be fooled by the fact that he put 3 single model on the starting line. The main because they can move so well, the main indication is where does he put his main forces, his flags, and they are all the way back, quite far away from the starting line, meaning that's a false aggression deployment. He's not going to be able to come at me, like I mentioned, so I didn't expect him to be able to rush me anyway. The way I deployed, I put my Tusker down south, in the middle my Death Star, the Giant all the way back. Then I put my Merc shots to make sure that if he tries anything, I can shoot him easily and deal with that, and then push toward the top of the map. Also be it's not easy for him to threaten my Mercs in this position. I have the Frosty that can move well to the flank, or the flank is Giant. And yeah, in the middle, just some control, to have Leadership 9 everywhere, to have my darts with flag hidden, also him far away from Pentagram of Pain in case you want to snipe me, to make sure that I have very hard time to try to be aggressive. Let's move on to his turn 1. So yeah, he start to slide towards the right, move the Bell towards the side, Mumilo here, move slightly back, but still on the hill. Arena Beast moves like here. In his magic phase, so I have only 5 dice to dispel, and I took the lesson from what my coach told me: if you have less than 6 dice, you should consider binding the Wrath of God turn 1. That's what I did. Then he failed Hereditary and did a couple of hits with Pentagram, but did no wounds to my Tusker. My turn 1, I move forward, but still being careful, so I move them 6 to be able to shoot at Arena Beast, move Death Star and them also forward, but yeah, giving him long charge. The problem is with combination of those two, of these two, he could be able to take out my Tusker. So I cannot move out forward without taking care of what he does. With my Death Star I can move forward, but still I cannot take a huge combo charge, so I need to be careful as well. So I wanted to not take too many risks so early on, and we'll see. Here I think I had missed an opportunity, because if you check the line of sight and the distance with Dictator, I think there was a good way. You see here my corner where I started this turn. I should have, I think, pushed the Giant in a zone like here. Still quite far away from the Mumio, maybe leaving them a long charge, leave a long charge also for the Dictator, to just, if they fail these kind of charges, they would be out of position, and basically I could be out of line of sight of the Arena Beast, be annoying, force some art check, be what Giant like to do, be annoying basically. So here I think I missed an opportunity with my Giant, and then after it will be just too late to do that basically. A Magic Phase, I do 2 wounds with Trial Phase against this Arena Beast, and with shooting I do another 2 wounds, so he has only 1 or 2 wounds left, so not much. His turn 2, he hides, moved them slightly backwards, Move to the side with the Dictator, continue to shift away from me, move that down south to make sure I cannot escape his line of sight. So, like I said, missed opportunity. I dispel Wrath of God in magic, and that's all that happens. My turn 2, didn't do much. I really wanted to take care of that part of the board, take some small points, not take too much risk for the time being. So I just move forward to another 6 and will shoot at the Fetis, move my Frosty out of line of sight of the Fetis to threaten him. Move my Death Star slightly forward, keeping them. You can see I didn't move that much, moved slightly to the sides, continue to zone them properly with my Tusker, but still I didn't felt I would be in position to push. And like I said, the matchup with these two, again, my Tusker is not so good. My Giant is kind of blocked, so it's either I can try something, but yeah, would be very risky, and I could just sacrifice. I could sacrifice the Giant, say I move forward, try to sacrifice, bait him to charge me, and see what happens. But then I'm forced to commit south, and as still I haven't dealt with all the north parts, so it's still a bit early for me. Magic Face. I get another wound with Trial Face against his Arena Beast, and with shooting I did 4 wounds to the Fetis. His turn 3. So it turns, look at my Frost, move the Doomblade unit just behind, move that slightly back, continue to move towards south. In the Magic Phase, I dispel Wrath of God. He did 2 wounds with Pentagram against my Tusker, and Hereditary against my Tusker did nothing. My turn 3. So I chaff this time the Fetis, push with my Frost up to the top, and move forward with both units to be ready to charge him in case he goes against my Tiger. I want to get some points. Also, these guys moving forward means that I have a couple of shots to deal with the Arena Beast. The rest is too far away. I continue here just to close the gap and make sure he cannot push me in any form. And if I take those points, I will be able to get a small no-risk win, basically. My Magic Phase, Trial Phase, kill the Arena Beast. So nice work from Trial Phase. Then I get -1 resilience on them just to shoot them a little bit, I guess, better. Did another couple of wounds. And yeah, I think that was it, basically. Maybe I got this turn. I got a Wrath of God, and I place it down here, and I miscast 666, and I lost 2 wounds. So yeah, a bit scary, but I got a Wrath of God here. His turn 4, so he decided he cannot save them anymore, so he just charged my chaff, move back with the Doomblade. Here you see my Wrath of God. He moved away with Arena Beast. Move them forward, him far away from my shots, continue to move back with the rest. In his Magic Phase, Pentagram against Tusker did nothing. He then cast the Wrath of God, got 666 on 4 dice, so he casts Wrath of God 4 dice every turn, doesn't care, and he loses his mage on that, so I let that go. The Wrath of God just here in the middle, so just behind, I think, my big boss. So I need to move away, but it's not too bad for taking almost 300 points for free. So that was nice. And then with shooting, what did he do? He did the last wound from my Tusker, so he killed 1. And that's it, close combat. He killed my Tiger, and then my turn. So since he's very far away from his general, he has to take a terror check on a 5, no reroll. So I just charge with my Frosty, fail that one, and I catch him. So that was very nice. Then I push forward and just put myself in position. If he charges the Frosty, I can flee first of all, or I can stay, no overrun, counter charge. So I offer myself plenty of possibilities, basically. And then I move away also from Wrath of God, so it's just below my main unit. The rest is pretty far away to avoid taking any damage. In my Magic Phase, I put a Smite the Unbeliever, I don't remember on who, I think on the Doomblade, to just force him to cause himself some more wounds, I think so. And then Wrath of God comes down, did, I think, like 2 wounds to the Momilo, 2 wounds to the Arena Beast, and I think that was, and maybe 1 wound I think to his big guy. So that was it, so not too crazy. Let's move on to his turn. His turn 5, so yeah, stay compact, move away, move back, and so on. He did 1 wound to my Tusker with Pentagram. Wrath of God comes down, did 8 wounds to my big boss. I don't care too much. And that's it. My turn. So I push forward, try to get some shot at the Vermin Demon, push forward with my Frosty. Again, I can always flee to safety and threaten him. I move that unit forward to get some last turn charge, but still give him very far charges for the arena. I don't want any combo charge, and I push with my giant to the side. They move also slightly forward, but still have to respect what he might do with his dictator, because I cannot face him. Also charge from the arena, since I have only 3 of them left. Is a bit dangerous for me. It's flags, so I don't take any risk, basically. It's not worth it for me, basically. He does, what did I do? Trial of face against his general, did nothing. Then I get Hereditary on my big block, also Smite, I think, on his general, try to hurt him better with my shots. He dispels Wrath of God. Shooting, I did 2 wounds, I think, to his big boss, so he has 4 remaining, I would say. So yeah, we'll see if I can manage to do that the last turn. His turn 6, so he hides behind the building, try to avoid me, uses 1 arena to chaff the giant. Yeah, makes sense. Also minimize the charge that I would get with my Tusker, so no, not interesting for me at all. And then in Magic Phase, he will just make sure I don't want to take the 6. So he's looking towards me, he has the Doomblade that survive on 1 wound, looking towards me, which makes very hard to engage. And also he will put Will Turn on me and Hereditary in front of me, and I lost already a couple of bodies, so it's not worth it to try this charge on double 6. I'm not sure at all to win it, and he will be just unstable and lose another wound, so I have no chance to get this unit, basically. The rest just move out and so on. What was interesting for me was the fact that I could get a shot. He has 4 wounds remaining, so I could move, try to shoot him with hard cover, and especially get 2 hunting spear to his flank with my Frosty. So that's what I tried to do. I move forward, sorry for the blurry picture, get a short range shot, so 2 shots on 3 up against his flank, and then 4 up to wound. In Magic Phase, I got 555 on Smite, didn't lose any wounds, so I was lucky here. I was scared, but I put -1 resilience. I wanted to max my chances to maybe kill him and make a big scandal. Try to shoot at him, but I did nothing, basically. So he survives, no problem, and that was the end of the game. It ended up being a 13-7, so I lost only the Tiger. I took 1 arena, the priest that blew himself, and the block of Fetis. Yeah, I think overall you will see afterwards, but I could have deployed better to be able to push slightly more. I think also to be more threatening with my shooting, my deployment was not optimal. Because as you saw, he was able to move away from my shots, and then I wasn't able to threaten the dictator in the early stages of the game. Which, yeah, could have influenced a bit more his movement with the dictator, and then if he needs to hide, I can maybe push slightly more. So yeah, I think I could have done better. Like I said, the fact that it's flag, I think it reduced a lot my ability to push more and use my darts as bait or chaff. I tried to shoot, to have lucky shots turn 6. I used 3 dice. Was it too much of a risk? I checked afterwards what were the math. I think it's still pretty unlikely to die on that, but still, yeah, I think it was worth it overall, because I still have a quite good chance. 3 up, 4 up with 2 hunting spear against his ward save, and then 16 shots. Poison, yeah, it's hard cover, so it's 7+, but still 16 shot, that poison on 6 up, 4 up. So I think it was still worth it to try it, basically just to maybe get some big points. But yes, still I need to keep in mind that when you use Tom, you need to be careful when you use your 3 dice end game, especially in a game like this that was very cagey. Is it really worth it? I think in this case overall I would say yes, because the likelihood that I die in comparison to getting a good chance at maybe killing him or getting half points, I think it was still worth it. Deployment, what I should have done instead, I guess, would have been to put the mercenaries in the middle, my tribesman block towards the bottom of the map, my Tusker up. Because basically what you can expect for him from him, even when he moves like he did towards the bottom part of the map, then the unit that is the furthest away from that has the higher movement value, so this makes sense. Also, the combat against Fetis, I think the Tusker have a good chance. I'm far away from Doomblade. I'm closer to the Doomblade with my Mercs, meaning I could possibly get try face against the Doomblade at some points. My shots from here with movement can get to shoot to this part of the board, meaning he has really to hide like here, so it makes harder. And basically for the zoning job, my tribesmen with the Great can do enough. The main question is, can I accept in this type of game, because what drove my deployment is also the fact that I wanted to have 9 rollable everywhere. Can I accept to have my Great Can here, my Tusker quite far away, probably out of leadership 9? I think in this type of game I can accept that, because there's not a lot of ways to panic them, force panic check on them. And if I want to have some options to get more point, I think that's the way to go. Also to put the mercenaries in the middle. Put a little bit of distance between these two, meaning the Doomblade cannot zone or threaten both. So I think that would have been slightly better and give me slightly more options to push forward. And also not being annoyed with the heal and impassable too much with my Mercs. Not to be minimized too much what I can do with my shots. And force his dictator to hide or be shot and be in big danger. So I think I could have done slightly better in the deployment stage to give me more option or more possibilities to get more points basically. But the round ended up being very good because we got the win we wanted and expected from Shizu. And then the other 3 table basically were able to get small difference on 2 of them. And this one was, we were okay with that. Basically my player, we discussed together the matchup because I know very well the list. It was on Spoil of War, so I knew it's either my Dwarven old player can close the game and we accept that he will lose secondary but win from distance most likely, which is what he did. Or we can try to play an open game, but it was Benji, I know he's quite good, so we decided to limit the potential of what he might win, and that worked really well because he brought the 8 that I asked him. And then I was pretty sure that between these 2 games we had option to compensate that, and if Shizu win, we win the round, and we win quite good at the end, 50-30. So I think that was the right strategy here. Okay, that was all for this round 2. So yeah, quick game, not a lot of action, but this happens as well. It was hard for us, and especially for me, to be more aggressive. I lack also experience against Vermin Swarm. I think this plays a role. I've played only with them once, so I didn't know exactly how to be more aggressive, get more points without taking too much risk, and I wasn't also sure it was needed due to the pairing situation and all the game were involving the tables. We knew from the deployment that the Dwarven Old would be like 8 because he closed entirely possibilities to get ambush and so on. So we knew that was going to be a secure spot. Between me and the VC, we knew that we could get something close to a small win, and also Shizu a big win. So I wasn't also too eager to take too many risks because I didn't feel it was really worth it considering the overall situation. But I think definitely with more training, there are some possibilities to be more aggressive against this type of list and get a bigger score without taking too many crazy risks. But yeah, I think the main factor here was capture the flag mainly, more than the lack of experience and the overall situation. The fact that it was capture the flag made kind of hard for me to be more aggressive without taking risks that he can combo charge me basically and I can lose big then. Thanks a lot guys for watching, I hope you liked it and talk to you soon, bye.